Well, thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Good afternoon. Thank you all so much for being here with us this afternoon. I want to first of all welcome the Superintendent of the Naval Academy, Vice Admiral Sean Buck, who has joined us this afternoon, along with his wife, Joanne. Thank you very much for being here. The Superintendent has some very strong ties to the state of Maryland. His grandfather served as the Senior Chief Petty Officer in the Navy and was stationed right here at the Naval Academy. His father graduated from the Academy in 1948. His mother was born in a home just down the street on West Street here in Annapolis. And both of his parents are buried alongside each other at the Naval Academy. Admiral Buck met his wife, Joanne, here in Annapolis while he was attending the Naval Academy. And they were married right out this window here in the Naval Academy Chapel. So, Admiral, I think it's safe to say that your return to Annapolis was a homecoming. And as the Governor of Maryland, I want to say welcome home to Annapolis. I also want to especially welcome Captain Thomas Buchanan, who's the Commandant of the Midshipmen, along with all of the other midshipmen and other Navy personnel who have joined us here today. As the state of Maryland officially proclaims the 175th anniversary of the United States Naval Academy. Now, it gives us a great deal of pride to have the Naval Academy here in the state of Maryland. And the Naval Academy truly is the crown jewel of our capital city of Annapolis. And of course, we're immensely proud of the young men and women who will one day be the officers leading our nation's Navy and Marine Corps. And so on behalf of all of the citizens of the state of Maryland, I want to express our sincere appreciation to each and every one of you for your service to our nation. It's very fitting that we proclaim this 175th anniversary celebration here in this historic State House, where the Revolutionary War ended with the ratification of the Treaty of Paris in 1784, and right below this room where you're sitting, this governor's reception room, is our old Senate chamber where General George Washington resigned his commission as Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Forces in 1783 in an unprecedented act of humility and patriotism that continues to exemplify America's armed forces to this day. And it was General George Washington who commissioned the nation's first naval officer in 1775 to command a small fleet of Massachusetts schooners to intercept vessels supplying British troops. Then 70 years later, in 1845, just down the hill from this State House, Secretary of the Navy George Bancroft established what they then called the Naval School. From humble beginnings with just 50 midshipmen and 7 professors, the Naval School has grown into a world-class academy that ranks as one of the very best liberal arts colleges in America, and just as importantly, which holds a commanding lead over Army in one of college football's most storied and enduring rivalries. So let me just again congratulate this year's team on bringing the Commander-in-Chief's trophy back home to Annapolis. How about that? Let's give a look. But the Naval Academy has produced generations of American heroes who have served our country in war and peace, both at home and abroad, with great distinction. And just through the windows right here and through the windows of my personal office, we overlook the iconic dome of the United States Naval Academy Chapel, where not too long ago we gathered for the funeral of Naval Academy graduate POW and United States Senator John McCain, a man with passion, toughness, and tenacity. Now, Senator McCain was a friend of mine, and I can tell you that he was not someone who would yield easily. But he was a man who always put himself, he always put his country and his party before himself. And we also think of other heroes, like Captain Ned Schuman, a 1954 graduate of the Naval Academy who retired after 34 years of military service. During the Vietnam War, Captain Schuman flew 17 combat missions before being shot down north of Hanoi in 1968. And he spent 5 years as a cellmate alongside John McCain as a POW. When Captain Schuman passed away in 2013, Senator McCain expressed his sadness over the loss of his beloved friend, saying it was an honor to be in the company of a true hero. And we are honored to have Captain Schuman's wife, Donna, here with us today. She works for me as a valued member of the governor's staff. And Donna has worked here in this State House for nearly 4 decades and for 6 Maryland governors, including myself. In fact, she's the one who is responsible for writing and putting together the proclamation honoring the 175th anniversary of the Naval Academy that we will be presenting today. So Donna, would you please stand up and be recognized? So it is that very spirit of sacrifice and service exemplified by the lives of Donna's husband, Ned Schuman, and John McCain, and so many other heroes that we honor and commemorate today and will throughout the months ahead to honor this 175th year of America's most distinguished institution, the United States Naval Academy. So may God bless the men and women of the United States Navy and the Marine Corps, the great state of Maryland, and the United States of America. Now, at this time, I'm going to invite Admiral Buck to come forward so I can present him with the official proclamation and ask him to say a few words. So please welcome Admiral Buck.
Good afternoon. Governor, thank you very much. State House employees, Naval Academy staff and guests, my teammates, Mrs. Schuman, we're all honored that you're here. We're honored for the Schuman family's sacrifice to our country, to our Navy, and your loyalty and dedication to the state of Maryland. It's very, very commendable. Thank you all very much for giving us your time today and recognizing this important milestone in the history of the Naval Academy. We're very much pleased to have been invited here and honored that you would recognize this milestone in our school. This year, the Naval Academy's theme for our 175th anniversary celebration is leadership, service, and tradition. And one of our most treasured traditions is our 175-year tradition of friendship with the great city of Annapolis and the great state of Maryland. We've come a long way as an institution over the course of these 175 years. As the governor just alluded to and shared with you, we started in 1845, and we started as a naval school on the grounds of an Army base, Fort Severn. I think that was the first victory that we had over the Army. we took charge of their land and we converted to a service recognized as the United States Navy. That school, as the governor said, started with just 50 students and 7 faculty. Those faculty were civilian. Since then, we've gone from a 10-acre plot of land to 338 acres. Sir, thank you for giving us that land. We appreciate it. And we've gone from 50 naval cadets to over 4,400 four-year midshipmen that attend the academy. Culturally, as an institution, we've also grown and evolved alongside our nation. In 1949, we celebrated our first African-American graduate, Wesley Brown. In 1980, we graduated our first cohort of women from the Naval Academy. And one of the developments that we're most proud of in our history is to become a more diverse and inclusive institution. An institution that reflects the diversity of our community here in this local area and across our great nation. Those are the people, that's the diversity that these young men and women, the graduates of the Naval Academy, will go out and lead and serve with shoulder to shoulder. Over the years, we've built a phenomenal relationship with our surrounding community. We are so grateful to the people of Annapolis and the state of Maryland for embracing the Academy and our midshipmen as your family. Since 1956, thousands of local families have taken our midshipmen into their homes and into their families through our sponsor program. Today, we've got over 2,500 local families here serving as sponsor families for our midshipmen, providing a home away from home. Each fall, our city comes out to cheer on the mids during our march-ons and our football games. It worked. It continues to work. Keep doing that, please. And year-round, our local community here provides incredible spirit and support for all of our athletic events, our musical concerts, our performances, and any event on the yard. Our midshipmen grow to feel loved and at home here in Annapolis during the course of their 4-year journey. This is evident by the multitude of alumni who choose to make Maryland and the city of Annapolis their home following their naval service. In return for your hospitality, we have attempted to give back to this community as thanks. Last year, our midshipmen dedicated over 25,000 hours of community service of their time towards tutoring children, conducting community cleanups, and mentoring at-risk youth. This effort is but a small token of our appreciation for all of the love and support given to us by the surrounding community. I believe our tradition of friendship will become even more evident in the coming years. Our futures are inevitably bound together in our collective action to battle sea level rise, both on the yard and in our local shores here. I believe this 175-year-long, incredibly strong partnership we have with the state of Maryland and the local community is going to be the foundation to confronting this challenge successfully together over time. Thank you, everyone, for coming out today to celebrate our 175th anniversary. We look forward to many more years of friendship and partnerships between the Naval Academy and our home and your home in Annapolis and in the state of Maryland. Thank you, Governor, very much for recognizing this milestone.